Hey everybody, welcome to Turn 2. We kind of have a clusterfuck of a show today. Doa is on vacation, leaving me to host, so it'll be kind of directionless. And then, of course, LS is not showing up for some reason. Who knows? But at least I have two wonderfully smart individuals here. Sixa is back. Had a lot of fun talking to him before. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty well.
Yeah,
Great for having. Thank you for having me back.
yeah. Thanks for coming, and thanks for showing up, unlike LS. And then, of course, we have ECOP, and if you don't know who he is yet, you probably will soon. I'm pretty sure he's the best Hearthstone player in the world right now. How are you doing, ECOP?
Yeah, I'm doing great. A bit sleepy, but yeah,
What time
otherwise
is it
fine.
there?
At 2 a.m.
2 a.m.? Oh, that's not that bad. You're kind of a crazy person with your sleep schedule, but all right. So this is where we start, and I don't have any sort of script or anything today, so let's start off talking about BlizzCon because that's next week, and I don't think there will be a show next week because Doa is still on vacation. He's come back the week after, and I have to fly out to BlizzCon. So I think Turn 2 will have no episode, but everything went quiet on my headset. Yeah, you guys, okay, it was Ecop muted his mic. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is that? That's weird. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Like, for instance, the decks were due last Friday. So we have to kind of take a snapshot of the metagame. What do you guys think that we'll actually see there? What kind of decks are people going to be submitting for this?
Uh, I'm expecting almost everyone to be playing some kind of mage. Like the deck is just so strong. Like you can't not play it, in my opinion. Especially if you have three other decks to play with too. So I expect to see a lot of people playing mage or aggressive mage even. Priest probably another one of those things. You could probably interchange the two of them maybe, but one of those things. Then some sort of super secret tech that everyone wants to play, but I don't know, something like that.
What do you think, Ecop? What are we going to see at BlizzCon?
Probably a lot of bad decks, that's for sure.
So
And
polite.
Trump and Crip will probably play a lot of cult masters and
A lot
loot
of cult
hoarders and stuff
masters.
like that. I don't know.
So a lot of bad decks with a lot of loot hoarders and
Uh,
cult masters, even in
prob-
constructed though.
Everyone will probably pick mage, uh,
Mhm.
and mage is pretty shitty. I heard.
So you are going against the trends here. You think what what
Oh,
do you think the
I'm
best decks are
confused.
then, Ecop?
The best deck right now, in my opinion, is Shaman.
Shaman? That
Really?
So
seems Europe seems to kind of be all over Shaman. Every time I look at one of those tournament brackets, it seems like just about everyone is playing a Shaman deck.
What are
yeah,
they even playing in them though? Like, I don't. I've yet to find a way to make Shaman like really work all of its magic. I mean, there's ways to make it just kill people, but there's not ways to like make it go mid and late.
oh, there are very many ways to build Shaman. So I mean, there are many ways to build it, and many ways to fail. I know that it's very hard to find a perfect build, but I think I came close. I don't think it's perfect, but yeah, it's close to perfect.
Is it like a controlling shaman, an aggressive shaman? What type? Mid range?
Yeah, it's mid range with like just many efficient cards with a lot of reach, with lots of reach. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't want to go into details because it's
Well,
kind of a
obviously,
secret.
it's fine.
Keeping it hidden. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So going back to what decks people are going to choose. So you're saying probably we're going to see mage. You guys both agree everyone is basically
Yeah.
going to submit one mage deck. Now, are we talking control mage? Are we talking aggressive mage, like a minion based mage, a spell based mage? What do you see as the mage deck that people should be submitting for this?
I'd be submitting like the blue deck wins thing. Like we have like the man worms, the apprentices, and all that other good nonsense. But like some people are teching it to play the Antonidas now as well. So that way you have like a finisher or something. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not really big on Antonidas. The card's good, but it's not the end all.
Hmm.
I'd rather just
That,
kill people with pyroblasts.
yeah, it seems a bit slow when you compare it to Pyroblast or something, but eh. Um, all right, so probably an aggressive type of mage, maybe with a little bit of tech in there. Priest as well? What you were saying they were kind of like you could swap them? Do you mean that they'll probably play one of the two,
Yeah, like
or
I don't think they'll. If you pick one, like if they pick mage, I don't think they'll play priest. But if you play mage and priest, there's probably like I don't know what you're playing on your third deck, like at all. But I think the priest deck is really like it's a very good wall deck. You don't have very many poor matchups against Hunter. You don't have very many poor matchups against a lot of the aggro decks. So I could see a lot of people bringing in the injured blade masters and going to town with those guys. So
well, it's kind of interesting. You said, if you're playing a mage deck and you're playing a priest deck, I don't know what the third deck would be. What is your idea of optimal 3-deck strategy for something like this?
like I mean, I'm always gonna run paladin until the end of the day. Like no matter what, it'll be my first deck pretty much every single time. Like I love the paladin class. I love the cards that you get to play with it. So that there's that for me, and like it's really aggressive. And then probably just I don't know, like probably another aggressive. Like I would play a lot of aggressive decks for me because I feel like there's not a lot of bad matchups that you can have right now with them. Outside playing mage again, like mage versus mage is really really boring, but it's a thing. Yeah, like I think my main three is going to be paladin, mage, and then something super secret on the side, like whatever I'm brewing. So
like a secret tech, like this kills this, and people aren't going to know what the hell it is.
Yeah, something to be like a counter deck. But yeah, that's probably my three.
What do you think about that, Ecop? Is that the type of way you'd choose 3 decks?
Yeah, I don't know. I would just probably pick the decks that have the highest win rate for me, which would be Shaman and definitely Shaman. And also the decks that I feel like can be really strong, even though they might not have such a big win rate. But I just feel really comfortable playing them. For example, Warrior or Warlock.
Oh, okay. Well, the Warlock, are you talking about like the handlock that LS made?
No.
What type of Warlock?
Like an aggressive kind of Murloc. Not Murloc, Warlock. Not playing Murloc, that's for sure.
Please, no.
Oh, looks like we're adding someone else in because LS didn't show up.
Yeah.
And it is Max. I don't think we've actually had Max on this show yet, but we got to redo these cams at the moment. Hold on one second, everybody. Max is another Yu-Gi-Oh player, just like Ecop, so definitely knows his card games.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Dang. I didn't play Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, I played it a little bit, but
I played a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day. It's nothing to be super ashamed of.
Comes out, man.
Yeah, I started with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
It was a fun game.
It is a fun game, if not completely unbalanced, but that's just me.
I never played Yu-Gi-Oh. I was too old. I missed out on like Yu-Gi-Oh and Power Rangers. My childhood was like Ninja Turtles and Magic the Gathering. That's.
Well, you had one of the three, so that's fine.
Yeah. So Max, we were talking about. Oh wait, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. So Max, we were talking about what is an optimal 3-deck strategy for one of these, best of 5s like the BlizzCon format, and what decks people think are going to be submitted. So I'd love to hear from you, like, what is your optimal 3-deck strategy for a best of 5 tournament that's single elimination, and what decks do you think people submitted?
So you agreed with all of you said Mage is probably a good pick. I just picked Warrior to counter Mage because I think Warrior is just the best counter for Mage, and maybe Priest, but at least you can eliminate the mages, and Warrior, a weapon Warrior has a pretty good ratio against other decks too. So I'd go with the Warrior for sure. And Shaman, Warrior and Shaman, and third one I'm not sure. Like those two for sure.
What type of Shaman deck? It's so interesting to see the different like metagames developing. By the way, like Europe You guys are seriously all about Shaman, whereas me and Six are sitting here and being
I
like,
have
I
no
don't
idea
know,
what you're
man.
talking about.
I'm not sure what Shaman deck, like,
If I
I've
see a
seen
shaman on a ladder, it's like
Bloodlust.
I'm like, oh look, 3 points. Like I'm not scared of what a shaman does right now.
I see it, I'm like, well, as long as he doesn't get more than two totems out, I should be fine, because
Yeah.
Bloodlust is the only thing I'm scared of. But what type of Shaman deck, Max, do you think is like just so good that it should be one of the decks?
I think Shaman is good in every state of the game. It is amazing in early, Lightning Bolts, Rockbiter, Feral Spirit. It's good in the mid game, Lightning Storms. The totems are insane, and then like maybe Azure Drake, Argent Commander, and then you have like the late game, the Fire Alley. It's such a strong card,
It's a very good card, yeah.
and
It's
it,
good.
it always two for ones, like the Argent Commander, but it's probably even a better card. And to finish off, you just play, I don't know, you play like a Wreck, one Bloodlust,
Everyone plays
and
her.
then you add, yeah, well, you don't have to play Wreck, but it's a good finisher. And then
Yeah.
you add like one Bloodlust to get rid of the totems, and you want some drawing power, like you want to add some cards to draw, like the Azure Drakes, the Blood Mage Thanos, and maybe some Novice Engineers. So
Okay.
yeah, that's basically the deck I was running, or
Does
I'm
your
running
play
at
a
the
lot
moment,
of, like,
and it's amazing.
Speaking of which, and don't spoiler it for me, but you are playing against Marson Nimsh in the King of the Hill.
Yes.
So I'm excited. Did you play a
Yeah,
Shaman deck?
Yes.
Was it in
was
your
my
lineup?
first deck.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because
No spoilers. No spoilers. That's getting casted
Yeah.
very soon. So
I know. I just think that Shaman has the best matchups against all decks. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a priest or a mage or a hunter, one-turn kill deck. Yeah, so that's why I chose it. That's why I would choose it as one of my decks for BlizzCon.
yeah.
Do you guys use a lot of like Wind Fury in there as well? Like I know like the Wind Speaker, the 4 mana 3
No.
guy. Okay.
No, not at all. I don't like the Chen Man.
That's the way
style,
that's the way I have
Wind
it built right
Fury
now.
one shot.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I don't play any Wind Fury
really
cards.
aggressive.
I think I don't like Wind Fury, and I don't like taunts. Like playing a taunt card. Let's just take the Senjin Shieldmaster. Probably everyone says, "Oh yeah, that's a solid drop." I really started to dislike those cards. So I just play cards that give taunt, like Defender of Argus, the Feral Spirits. Yeah, those cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sun Fury. I think you were telling
Yeah,
me
Sun
the
Fury
other day.
Protector. Yeah, that's
That seems
I really like that card, man. It's so good.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one. Okay, so that's what you would have played. Do you think that, the thing is, these are all North American players, so I'm feeling like, I don't know, there's no shamans that ever pop up on that server that are any good. It's like they're always like all in Bloodlust decks. So I feel like there's not really going to be a lot of shaman there, but I have to agree with the mage. I feel like just about everyone's going to be running mage. Probably a lot of priest. But here's what I'm trying to get at. What is the optimal strategy? Like, should you have a combo, a control, and a beatdown deck? Should you have 2 beatdown decks and a control deck? Like, what is the right thing to do here? If you're going into one of these tournaments and there's like $1 million on the line, how do you choose your decks to have the highest chance to win? And I'm not just talking about class, I'm talking about like the archetype.
You don't want to tech against stuff. Like, you're not going to play cards like Ooze, in my opinion. You just want the most valuable cards. You're just going for the good 2-drops. Let's just say Fairy Dragon, or you're just going for the good 3-drops like Scarlet Crusader.
Yeah.
The buff guy, Shattered Sun Cleric. You're just going for those. You're not going for like, oh, I may need silence against that, or I may need weapon removal, or I may need a poly against Nurse Elemental. No, you have to make your deck consistent, so there is a good chance to win against everything, and not counter. Countering is bullshit in a format like this, I guess.
I feel like having like one deck that is just kind of there to beat like a poor matchup for one of your main decks or something like that is okay. I think that's probably the way I would do it every single time. but I don't feel like there's like a very large difference between having a deck on ladder that you need like maybe one silence, you need maybe like one taunter or something like that in it, but you also have your main core strategy as well. Like I feel like if you're playing in like a tournament like this, you don't want to dilute the deck, which is a big problem for a lot of like Magic decks. Even like you don't want to sideboard too many cards in or out because you ruin the core part of the deck. So I believe that's probably the safest way to do it, is just to have like your main strategy and just go all in on it. So
I would like almost 100% agree with what Max said, except for that you have to consider the meta game a bit. Fairy Dragon is like the best 2-drop right now, simply because decks like Mage are running rampant right now, and Fairy Dragon is the perfect counter to Mage. Also, it's very good against Priest too. Priest has like no answers against Fairy Dragon. So yeah, that's why Fairy Dragon is so good right now. However, well, if weapon decks got more popular, like rogues or warriors or paladins even, then Ooze would be automatically included in every deck.
Yeah.
You have to like better game, but considering that rogue got nerfed to hell and the other weapon classes are not that popular, Ooze is just not being played because it's not necessary to do it. But Ooze is probably the best 2-drop you can have theoretically in a constructed format.
I'd see. I probably wouldn't have a deck that doesn't have at least one ooze in it. Just like the off chance that you have it is just too strong. Versus the decks that obviously use weapons, but
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting because I hear both sides here. I hear that Ooze obviously great against these weapon decks, but at the same time everyone's kind of saying, well, Priest and Mage, that's like the snapshot of, I guess, almost a week ago now of what the metagame was for BlizzCon. So both of those obviously don't have weapons unless the Priest steals the weapon from their opponent, and you
Right.
probably don't count on that happening. So I mean, is that the right, would you play that here when you're expecting those to be two of the decks?
My call for the meta will be caster heavy, like playing all those caster classes. So what I would do is play decks that just go for the face, because people just want to play those valuable cards. They want to play the buff guys like Defender or the Dwarf or the Cleric, and you can perfectly counter that by just going for the face. Like I was talking earlier about the Weapon Warrior deck. Man, if your Arcanite Reaper lives, it's so good. It's just 10 damage in the face for 5 mana.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's better than Pyroblast if it lives that long. There's no ooze. Hopefully you already use that on your other crappier weapons, but
people are so focused on just playing the most valuable cards each turn. Like turn 2 you wanna drop Fairy, turn 3 you wanna drop Shattered Sun Cleric, turn 4 you wanna drop, I don't know, Yeti or Water Elemental or Sentient Shieldmaster. I think people are too focused on that minion base. They don't think outside the boxes that there are other cards that may not be as valuable on their own, but in combination they can be way better.
Can you give some examples?
Well, we call it Wombo Combo, and it's basically like Circle of Healing, which is a useless card, but you just play it with Arcanite Soul Priest or like Injured Blade Master, and you can have a 4/7 Injured Blade Master on turn 2. So that's like auto win, because no one can deal with it. It's the perfect card.
There's no removal that early anyway.
Yep.
That's pretty sick. I guess they have to wait for like maybe a Hex or a Polymorph, something like that.
Yeah, Hex is like the best solution against that. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, Hex. And then you can, I don't know, shield it and heal it, Noshire Cleric.
Yeah,
and if
you have Organized Soul Priest, it's the best mass removal in the game.
Yep.
Mm.
0 mana.
So we were running that deck. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I like that.
And I don't see anyone playing Organized Soul Priest, for example. Like that's just one of many cards.
Or also, for example, the control warlock that LS built, the one with 4 giants.
That deck is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
god.
totally outside the box. It's totally
Yeah.
outside the box.
The hand
And
lock.
I think we're going to see a lot of Hunter one-turn kill decks,
Yeah.
but I don't think that deck is any good. Like, after playing against it or playing it, it's pretty much coin flip against most of the decks, and it's 30 to 40% win rate against like a counter deck.
Yeah, I feel like the Hunter
So
deck in
I don't like
particular
that.
was like it was really good in the tournament that Chairman played it in because like no one really knew about a lot of how to deal with it yet. But like now that everyone's playing it on the ladder, there's a lot of different answers that you can play to it, and they're very apparent. So it's a lot harder to
Well,
it's a
I didn't
lot
like
harder to
the.
maximize that deck.
Yeah, I don't want to bash anyone, but I think the deck he built, like the way he built it, is not good at all.
Yeah, it's not
But
the most optimal.
that's just my 2 cents. Yeah. So
What?
I tested it. I played Shenman's list for like a day. I didn't like it too much. I changed it a bit. It got a bit better, but I still don't like the deck. I still don't feel like it's that powerful as people are saying, because they are saying, "Oh my God, I face Otika all the time," but that's not actually true.
The thing about combo decks in general in any card game is people just they can just win against every deck. That's the thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You just have to survive a couple of turns. Yeah, you have to survive a couple of turns, a certain amount of turns until you get your combo together, and then you win. There's like not almost nothing that can stop it, especially in games like in a game like Hearthstone where you cannot do anything on your opponent's turn. And also if you cannot discard their hand or something like this, you know,
Yeah.
you cannot disrupt the combo play properly, which is why combo decks in theory would be so good in this game. However, that being said, it's still a combo deck, and combo decks definitely can fizzle, like in any card game.
Hmm.
So it just can happen that you don't get the right pieces, you just get unlucky and stuff like that, or your opponent just gets a lucky draw and finishes you off earlier than you would expect.
Mm.
So that can always happen. Like, this is why I don't prefer playing combo decks at all, simply because I'd rather have a very solid deck that I feel comfortable playing and have, yeah, like that where can just outplay my opponent instead of just hoping that I get lucky, basically.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
have
if
to
you
agree with
don't
that.
kill on turn 7 or like turn 8, you're done.
Mm.
You're just done. You need the buzzard and you need the unleash to get where you want. And I had games. I went through 25 of my cards, and then I draw the unleash, and it was just coin flip if I win now, because if I didn't get the unleash, the game would just have been over. Like, I had so many games where I was on 1 HP or 2 HP, and I barely got the unleash, and sometimes I didn't get it, and then it was just over because my cards were fucking useless, except for
Yeah.
like random Stranglethorn Tiger or random Yeti or random Jungle Panther. Like, they don't do shit on their own.
Are are there any other combo decks actually out there right now though? Is Hunter OTK actually the best, even though you guys seem to resoundingly dislike the deck? Is there any other
There's
combo deck that's on the radar?
the Warrior, like, um,
Oh, that
with the
old.
Molten
Giant charge
Giants.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that old one. I played
Oh.
it a little bit, but I think it's
I think it's
so
techy. I think it's really
RNG.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but you can
Yeah,
make a better Warrior deck
you're not gonna
without it.
steal
So,
wins with just playing that shell
yep.
or anything like that. It's just fun.
The thing is, right now, it's very hard to actually build a combo deck. Like, it's probably not even possible. Like, with the exception of this, with the exception of this Hunter deck, simply because the card pool is not deep enough. You had, and also because just the way this game is designed, I think combo decks are usually just a niche within decks. Like some combos within decks. Uh, how should I put it? Like, you will have a pretty standard deck, and then you randomly slap in some 2 or 3 cards that synergize together, making a combo. So yeah, you will never get like a deck together, at least not now. That's basically solely dedicated to this combo.
Mm.
Yeah, like I feel like you could play the Inner Fire Divine Spirit deck, but like for priests, like where you have like the really big
No.
toughness guys and then like buff them to make like a one-shot robot basically. But like that's just like not there's so many better ways
It
to play
works in
priests. So
it works in 1 out of 10 games.
yeah, exactly. Like
That's the
there's so
thing.
many better ways to play priests that it's just not worth
Yeah,
trying.
it works. It works in fucking Copper League. That's where it works.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I lost to turn 5 Light Spawn, turn 6 double Divine Spirit. I lost to that, but like that can happen. It's just a 2020, right? So what am I gonna do about it? But it won't happen in like every game I face it. It will happen in like 1 out of 20 or 1 out
Out
of
of 20
30.
priest games or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's there, but I'm
And
not gonna.
if I had a taunt or a silence, like
Yeah, exactly. But like that's the
would
point. Is
just
like
have been over, right?
I liken it to the same idea that you can like to the one shot like hunter deck where you can like hold your divine spirits and their fires for that pivotal turn where they have no defense and just go kill them. But like that very rarely ever happens post turn 4, so
Yeah, I don't care for that type of priest deck. I think it's pretty dumb.
I think it's like it's one of those things that I have a guilty pleasure of playing that deck. It's just hilarious.
That's true. You did play something like that in the TL Open, but
Yeah, I mean,
at
I
least
used
you were doing it as a counter.
Yeah, it's just used it to play against the hunter because like it's really hard for the hunter OTK deck in particular to beat through like 1/7s and 0/4s. It's very hard for them to do anything.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so
most of the time they don't care about it
Yeah,
because they like when I saw the list, I couldn't understand why Chenman was only playing 1 owl because I think silence is like the combo enabler to get rid of the taunts, so you
Yeah,
don't have to deal with
it's a
them.
way
You
to
just
clear the
silence
way.
them. Yeah, you have to play 2 owls, and then you just don't care about taunts, right?
yeah, I do think you should have 2 owls in that. Definitely, it's like it's almost better than like the deadly shots and stuff like that, just because it's actually this targeted way to get rid of the actual blocker that's going to stop your
I guess
combo.
it cantrips and stuff too, especially if you have like the buzzard. But I don't know. I'm more reluctant to not play deadly shots as well. Like I'd probably play 2 of each, but
Mm,
I haven't touched the deck since Teal Open, so.
yeah. Hunter OTK is kind of gross, and combo not really. I mean, that's the only real combo deck that actually has like
Yeah.
any tournament potential, it seems. But what about like aggression versus the more mid-range stuff versus control? What do you guys think is actually, where is it at right now? What is the best? Because I feel like maybe a month and a half ago, control felt a lot more powerful to me, but right now I feel like something aggressive. The aggressive decks have gotten good enough that they're fine again. You know, it's not like they're non-existent. They're there. I think that they can win. What's your guys' take on this?
Usually it's like rock paper scissors, which means aggressive decks beat control decks beat mid-range decks, and mid-range decks beat aggressive decks. So yeah, right now the meta game is more towards aggressive decks and mid-range decks. Control decks are kind of on the sideline.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just like I can't see, I haven't found a control deck that I like in the format right now. Like the priest deck just doesn't feel like I haven't found a way to play it correctly. I guess I'm not really a fan of the priest deck right now. Mage deck, I'm playing it aggressively. Warlock deck, I guess I just don't have enough cards to play the warlock deck because I really want to play LS's Shaman or Warlock deck, but I just don't have the cards to play that right now. So, but I can't find a control deck that's going to have a decent matchup against the aggressive decks, particularly the mage deck. Like that deck is just blisteringly fast. Like if they get like a turn, if they turn 1 like Nanoworm, it's very hard to beat unless you have the owl, or not the owl, but the fairy dragon. Like you have to have it because that's pretty much the only way I found to kill that card. So I don't know. I'm just not. I think the aggressive decks are definitely the way that the format has moved just because of the card pool. So.
What were you going to say,
I
Max?
think Yeah, I was saying that for me right now, it's about hitting the perfect card each turn. Like, you want to start turn 1 Leperno, turn 2 Fairy Dragon, turn 3 Shattered Sun Cleric, turn 4 Solid 4 drop. You just want to have the perfect drop every turn. And then it's not that important what archetype you're playing. You just want to hit the right guys. And that's my biggest problem right now, because you only have 3 or 4 cards in your hand. And sometimes you're just going to get more out RNG than in other games, because you only have like half of the cards in your hand, right?
Hmm.
So you have less options to choose from. So I still feel like that the aggressive and mid-range decks are way superior right now, and I don't think the control decks can live long enough to win. But most of the times it's not about who is countering who. It's more about hitting the right card at the right moment or playing it.
Do you agree
Yeah.
with that, Ecop?
Yeah, I also had the feeling that um, any deck can beat any deck if you get the right cards.
Hmm.
You just have to build it like so you have a good balance within the deck, so you can beat everything in theory. And if you hit the right cards, you will just always win.
Okay. Now, let's say that, all right, everyone's kind of agreeing aggression is the way to go, which makes mid-ranged a little bit better than like a control type deck, which is going to fall to the. Obviously, that's kind of the way it's supposed to go. But what class do you guys think is best for aggression? Let's not count mage, because everyone's kind of, well, actually, let's count mage because Ecop doesn't really like mage. So, what class do you guys
Me
think
neither. Me neither,
is
man.
Max doesn't like it either. So, but Sixer really likes Mage because he plays on the North American server with me, where
Yeah.
everyone plays Mage. But what classes do you guys think are actually the best for these aggressive decks?
I think
I'm-
it's Warlock.
Yeah,
Warlock?
I'm kind of
Yeah,
leaning
it's
towards
Warlock.
that boat as well. Like just the amount of cards you see with the Warlock deck is just it's better. Like the hero power alone is probably the only reason you'd play a Warlock aggressively, because just you could play. I mean, you played a
Soulfire.
29. Yeah, it's just 29 dudes. You're drawing basically 2 cards a turn. It's like that's hard to beat. Like
It's
The
really
thing-
that 29 dudes deck.
The thing with Warlock is, and as Max was saying before, because you want to, in this format right now, we want to hit every single best drop on turn 1, 2, 3, 4, if you can, and makes Warlock so good because Warlock has very, very good one drops if you
Yeah.
compare it to other classes.
Yes.
yeah, it's got 2 of the best 1-drops in the game.
And
so-
also very good 2-drop in form of Succubus. So yeah, Warlock is pretty good on that part. Also, free removal in form of Soulfire, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It just gets rid of almost everything. And yeah, the drawback of
Guard.
discarding cards doesn't matter because you can just draw out of it with the hero power. So very efficient cards, very powerful. Kind of having a drawback, but the drawback doesn't matter in the long run because you can either draw out of it if it's discard, or if it's life loss, you can take advantage out of this in other ways, which I won't tell right now because it's also kind of a secret deck.
I think
Oh, dude.
Soulfire is way too powerful, that card. I think
0
it's
mana for 4
it's
damage.
too good.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
it's too
I
good.
think it needs to probably be like 3 damage, but like even then, I'm never a fan of cards that can be cast for free. Like that, I feel like they're very degenerate to almost every single card game. So, like, it's just the
Yeah.
way it is.
Free is pretty funny. Remember that deck
I want to
called
talk
Rogue
about the
from
mage
way
a bit
long
more.
ago? Yeah, go ahead.
I think, like, the only reason Mage is doing so well is because of Firebolts and Pyroblast.
Yeah.
Because you only have to do like 15 damage or 14 to actually win the game. And that's my whole problem with Mage. Like, it's so easy to actually win without
Mhm.
even playing good. Like, you just need Pyroblast, and 2/3 of his HP are gone.
Yeah, if you have 2
So-
Power Blasts, you just find some way to deal 10 more damage between then.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly. Yeah, that pissed me off lately.
I've lost many a
like
game to that.
you've been. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I
So
guess
they
we've had
should,
it
they
all
should do
game,
something
so...
about it. Yeah.
So do you
And then
do
you
you think
can
that
just
Pyroblast
stall.
should be fixed or something? Because I agree that it's so easy to play. It's not even fun in my opinion. The mage decks, because you just kind of throw shit at your opponent, then you look at your hand, you're like, oh, it turns out this is lethal. If I live for 2 turns, you're dead. You know, and that's
Yeah, and then
It's like
then you just
inevitability in my
stall
hand.
with Cone
Okay.
of Cold.
Yeah, that's my biggest complaint about the mage deck right now is the fact that Cone of Cold is even a freaking card. Like that thing is just dumb. Like if it did 1 damage to everything and then froze only the main target, I'd probably be okay with that. But like 1 to pretty much everything on your board on turn 3 and then freezing it as well, that card needs to cost like 7 mana. Like what the shit?
The thing, no, not really. Like the thing is with mage, there are stuff that counters it pretty hard. For example, priest or warrior.
Yeah,
Especially because of
Yeah.
if you keep the hero power in mind. Like priest's hero power just fucks mage up so hard.
Yeah.
Of Warrior's
funny.
hero power. Armoring up.
so.
Yeah, those are the 2 mage counters. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so warrior and priest. Now, priest obviously they have like all that life gain. I remember many shows ago we were talking about holy fire and how funny that can be if you get that off against mage. But
Yeah.
with the warrior, is it the armor gain that you guys are looking at specifically that makes it such a good counter to mage? What is it? Because you guys have mentioned a couple times. Now, I haven't played warrior all that much, but why is it? Why do you guys feel like it's so good against mage? What are the specific things?
Because of the weapons.
Yeah,
And mage.
you just deal a lot of damage faster than mage would do.
Mm.
Yeah. It's more
Okay.
efficient. Like
Yeah, I
that's
could
the
see
whole
that.
point. You use 5 mana to do 10 damage. He does 8. So you're just out trading him, and then you play cards like Captain Greenskin, and people are like, "Whoa, what is this card? I haven't seen that card." And it's actually an amazing card.
5/4 that
And
gives
then
you
you
a
just
whole other
go-
weapon. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you
really
just make your Arcanite Reaper stronger. It lives
Yeah.
longer, and then you just add in an Argent Commander, and you just go for the face all the time.
Are you guys
And then
playing
you got the
upgrades in
Warzone
that warrior deck
Commandos.
as well? Like the
Yes.
1 mana thing? Okay.
Yes.
I did
It's
think it was
actually the-
pretty funny when Ecop played Captain Greenskin with a Gore Howl on and attacked me. I was like,
Mhm.
oh wait, this is why
Well-
are you getting 2 attacks here?
You can easily do up to 20 damage in 1 turn if you have like a big weapon, and then you just Warzone Commander into Blood Serrator or into Raging Worgen and enrage it. Like the game is just over, and that's
Yeah.
how it wins against the mage, because it's charge. Like what is the mage going to do about charge? He can only freeze the stuff that is already in the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the hunter OTK is also so good against mage.
Yep.
Charge is a good
That can
ability,
win
by
too.
the way. It's just like that's the
And
only
haste
way to
is-
combo people right now is charging them.
Haste is a really
I want to
good
talk
you can't
about
craft
Argent
with it.
Commander.
Yes, the best card in
Can we talk
Constructed.
about Argent Commander?
I would love to talk about Argent Commander, the card that is 2 of in every single fucking deck in the whole world.
Yes.
Exactly.
Card's too good.
So guys, everyone in the chat, if you don't have 2 Argent Commanders in your deck, craft them and put them in.
Yep.
Like,
Better yet,
it's
craft
probably the
golden
best
ones.
generic card.
Best
Craft
200
golden
dust you'll ever spend.
Best 1,600 dust you will ever spend. Craft the golden ones.
Can you craft golden cards? I actually don't
Yes,
even know
you
this. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
shit, I
of
gotta-
course.
When you, it's in the
Golden
crafting
Argent
menu. It'll be like list your golden cards, and you can click it there.
I already have all the commons and the rares that are relevant, and so I don't even craft cards anymore, like regular cards anymore. Just craft golden cards now.
Sick.
So this card is always 2 for 1, and that's why it's so good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. That card is. I'm trying to think. I think there's at least 1 or 2 of those in every deck now, right? Is there a deck that shouldn't play
Yeah.
that? Maybe Hunter OTK can skip out on that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but every other deck I would put 2 of those in. Like, that's the first card I put in my deck when I start to build a new deck. I just go to that card, put 2 in, because they are set. You can't get around them. This card is too good to not push
There's-
in.
There's no counterplay to it either. There's the thing. It's just like it's
Yeah,
6 mana,
exactly.
deal 4 damage to something, and you're probably getting another card out of it too.
It's
Yeah.
simply the best generic minion.
You know, every time that I like play first, on turn 6 he comes down and kills off a minion, and then on my opponent's turn 6 he plays it and kills mine. Every
Yes, that
time.
always happens.
Every single time.
That has
Okay.
never not happened. Like that is what turns 6 and 7 look like. I just plan for that happening. It's pretty funny. Because this card is so damn good and it's literally in every deck, and I think nobody really denies that. Should it be changed? Should it be gotten rid of if a card is in every deck? Like we were talking about Rag like this before. Like Rag is in almost every single deck. Argent probably in even more decks than Rag. Does that make it have an issue?
I don't think it's an issue. I think it's fine that some cards are played in every deck. Like, I mean, if you think about it, even in Magic, like every blue deck's playing Ponder or Brainstorm if it can. Like that's just the way it works. But like, I do think the card could stand to be a little less powerful on like the power side. I think it could be a 3/3 and it would still probably see as much play. But I think that 4th power is where it actually tips into being pretty ridiculous.
You agree,
I think
Yuko?
it's fine.
Max? You think it's fine? Is that just because it's in
Like
all of
Rag,
your decks and
like
you love it?
No, but I like. There has to be cards that you want to play. Like you don't want to go around. Oh my god! Now I have
Exactly.
to fill in my 2 slots. So, I think Ragnaros is fine too. There are probably more good legendaries to come. So, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Any sound off on the Argent Ecop?
No, I already said it, like the best generic minion. Put it in every deck that can make use of it. Unless you have a specific strategy that doesn't require you playing it.
Okay, so if that's the best generic minion, what is right after that? What's a card that's in almost every deck for you guys?
Shattered Sun Cleric. It's probably the next one for me.
Okay. Definitely see that a lot.
For us, it was kind of Scarlet Crusader. I feel like we are big fans of Scarlet
Yeah.
Crusader.
Yeah, I mean that's another card. I'd probably play both of them equally, like 2 of each every time. Like not every, like I don't want to say every time because it seems awful, but like almost every time. Card
Scarlet
like
Crusader. Oh, sorry.
I think Divine Shield is like as much as I play cards that have Divine Shield, Divine Shield's pretty degenerate. Like it's not. I don't like. I mean, it does lose like a lot of its value versus Mage because of the hero power mages have, but like it's not. I don't know. Like to prevent the next source of damage when before you even play. Like how do you when they were designing the game? How did you value that? Like a 3/1 for 3. That's all right, and then you give it away to always 2 for 1 something. That seems really good.
That's shocked.
I mean, like, yeah, there's obvious answers to it. Like, I'm doubting that. Like, there's almost every class has a way to kill something with Divine Shield. But like, I still think Divine Shield is just really, 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 really good. I mean, you have to either trade 2 cards for it, or you have to have a card that just flat out kills it.
So my 2 cards would be Fairy Dragon because of the current meta game, and Defender of Argus.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I think giving guys taunts is so annoying, and
1/1 and
buff
taunt is
he's
even better.
providing, providing it for 1 minion, it's good, but providing it for 2, that's just crazy. So those are my cards: Fairy Dragon and Defender of Argus.
Okay. Ecop, are you echoing that?
Yeah, definitely. Like Max and I almost always share the same opinion because we play this together and we know what's up, man. We're just the best players around.
Sixa, is it for you the Shattered Sun Cleric?
Yeah, I think the card is really good. I really like the battle cry effects in this game. Like I think they're all really good, and like I'm trying to find something with Warlock that you use Battle Cry with and like Brewmasters. Like I really like that Brewmaster deck. It's kind of fun.
Mm.
But like there's just not a lot of like as much as I like them, they're not as powerful as just like your really efficient like 1, 2, 3, 4 set. It's just not good enough. But it's fun. Like I really like Shattered Sun Cleric because it's a workaround to a lot of things. Like it comes down and usually forces like your leper gnome to trade with their like 2, 3 or their something or whatever they have on the field. So it's always nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like Shattered Sun Cleric. It's a very good card.
All right. Pretty much what I was expecting from you guys. There's one other thing I really wanted to ask earlier on, but I kind of forgot to, because everyone suddenly agreed that like Warlock is really great for like a really aggressive deck, and then we kind of like segued into other conversation. I somehow ended up on Argent Commander and stuff, but if not Warlock, like what is next after that? If you're trying to play 2 aggressive decks and one of them is Warlock, what is the second one for you guys? Like really aggressive decks.
Mage. I mean, there's just I think the mage deck is just too strong. Like that's me. I'll talk about that all the time. But it's either mage or I like paladin, obviously. Like I think, but that's just because Leper Gnome is ridiculous with the hero power. So like that whole engine is just dumb.
I would definitely say warrior, because if you take a look at the card Inner Rage, right? Inner Rage.
Yeah.
You put it on a berserker, a money berserker. Like for example, you coin a money berserker, right? And then you go Inner Rage, the money berserker, and play like a Fiery War Axe to back this guy up or something. I don't know. Inner Rage was just a 5 damage nuke for 0 mana in this position. Just like that.
Is Inner Rage 1 mana or is it 0?
It's 0.
It's 0.
0.
Oh.
So that's like 7 damage turn 2
Yeah,
if you
that's
coined
really
him,
good.
and then with a Fiery War Axe to protect him, that's a.
If you put Inner Rage on a Worgen, that's how
That's
much damage
really
Inner
good.
Rage just dealt.
That's 6. That's 12 damage.
12 damage, turn 4.
Yeah, it's 9 damage for 0 mana.
It's pretty good.
Wow.
So
Well, that's definitely better than Pyroblast.
Warrior can definitely have some pretty explosive starts. You have to get the right cards for it though. It's pretty hard to get those combos. I mean, you have like Cruel Taskmaster and Inner Rage to enrage those guys, and yeah. But the thing is, I think there are just 2 little good enrage guys right now. So it's kind of shaky. This combination of cards is kind of shaky. Sometimes you just only get one piece and not the other one. If there were more good enrage guys, then those cards would be much better.
Yeah.
Like you won't play Tauren Warrior, that's for sure. Tauren Warrior is so shitty. I mean,
Angry chicken.
Angry chicken.
Oh, chicken, yeah.
How
Frothing
you
Berserker-
can't even enrage that with Warrior, right? There's
For
like
example-
literally no way.
We played Frothing Berserker, for example. We thought for a long time it's like one of the best cards, but then it turned out to be the worst card in our Warrior build, and we just replaced it with something else.
Wait, which card was that?
Frothing Berserker.
Frothing Berserker. We just took it out of the deck. We were like so
Really?
hyped about that card, and we were like, oh my god, they can't be serious by buffing it. Like,
Yeah,
they
they buffed it.
to give it one more attack. And we were
Wait,
like, what? Holy shit, this card is so good.
I'm trying to think. Oh, Frothing Berserker. Oh, I like that card.
Yeah.
You guys don't like it anymore?
But we cut it up. No.
I still
Like,
like the card, but it's just not as good as other cards in that deck that we built.
I think Crusaders, Worgens, or Warzone Commanders, or even Shattered Sun Cleric are just better.
Okay. Huh. Even with the weapons there to kind of power him up. It's kind of interesting. So Max, do you agree that the best aggressive deck after Warlock is Warrior as well?
No, I'd say Mage.
Mage. Okay.
Like the mage deck Nimsh was playing
Mhm.
on the King of the Hill match against Nick. That is like the most aggressive way you can build it.
Yeah.
So I'd say that mage deck. Because it's just insanely fast.
It's kind of crazy, especially since you can enrage all your stuff so damn easily with mage. Oh. Well, I think that's all I got. Anything else you guys wanna add before we start to tune the show down?
Of course. When is open beta?
Seriously, I'm tired of everyone begging me for a key. It's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I think if I had to guess, I'd say that probably they're waiting for BlizzCon or something, right?
That's my
Yeah,
biggest
that's
guess. Is like
yeah,
if they can't really give away a secret card for like the online stream thing unless like it's going into open beta already. So
Oh, that makes that's right. They're giving away a card at BlizzCon. I heard.
yeah, if you go to BlizzCon or if you get the online stream or have the DirecTV thing, you get like
Yeah.
the goodie bag, and in the goodie bag is a secret Hearthstone card, and they haven't told us what it is yet.
Is
But,
it
like,
is it like a legendary or like?
we don't know. It just says secret card.
Because
So-
if it's not a legendary, I need to get 2 of them, and how do I do that?
Sixer, we should discuss your mage deck you just posted in the chat.
Oh, should we?
Yes. What is
Okay.
this?
This is
What
my
is
mage
this?
What
deck.
is
this?
Where did you
What
post a mage
the
deck? I don't see
fuck?
it.
It's in chat.
I'm
No, it's not.
gonna post it in
I'll
Skype.
put it in Skype. I put it in like Twitch chat.
Oh boy, this
What
deck,
is this?
Arcane
I
Explosion.
love that deck,
This
dude. Deck's
Okay,
so
let's
fun.
see here. Wait.
Oh man, what is this?
Ice Lance is the best card in the deck. Let me tell you.
Oh.
Ice
Right
Lance,
after
huh?
Arcane Intellect.
Yeah, let me tell you why Ice Lance is the best card in the deck. Deal 7 damage. That's why. Frostbolt and Ice
Yeah,
Lance,
Frostbolt,
7
Ice
damage.
Lance. Yeah.
Eat it.
of course.
Frostbolt and Ice Lance. You got 2 pyros, 2 fireballs. It's game over. Right then and there. The rest of the cards just stall it out.
No comment.
Okay.
I wouldn't play
I like
Polys
it.
in the mage anymore. I think they are not necessary.
The polys.
Yeah.
I like them just to like have a definitive answer to like things I need to beat through. Like it's very hard for my deck to beat through 4/5s, specifically the stupid Yeti. But like, I mean, yeah, you can freeze it and stuff, but it's just a definitive answer. I'd rather just not die to it.
Every good player I talk to, basically, not everyone, but almost, refers to the Chillwind Yeti in a very negative tone.
I hate that card.
I'm just throwing that out there. Everyone
This
is
is
like,
all
that card is
Trump.
fucking
I
dumb.
swear to God, this is all Trump's fault.
It is all Trump's fault. I hate that Yeti too, man. Because whenever someone plays a
So
Yeti,
what-
if you don't have an answer, it's like, oh god.
So, how do you feel like is Arcane Explosion or Novice Engineer in that deck? Are they like?
I mean,
I
they're
mean, I can Novice just to do cycle, right?
yeah, it's just a cycle. Like a lot of the cards in there are pretty much there just the cycle, so that you can have your like pyroblasts and so on and so forth. Like the whole point of the deck is just like it was when we built when Chanman built the hunter deck, is to deal 10 damage before you go off, and like my going off is 2 pyroblasts. So like the rest of the deck is just kill their dude, stall their dude, kill their dude, stall their dude, and then find a way to chip them for 10 until I can get to that point.
I don't think I'll ever like the card Mirror Image. I'm just throwing that out there.
Stalls the game. It's very
I will
I know.
never, I will never
I
like
s-
secrets at all.
Mm. There's
Secrets,
no secret.
What
in
about
there, but-
Leponome?
I want to put it
If
in
you
this
think
deck.
about-
I just it's
Yeah, of
probably
course, you have
like
to
if
put
you,
it
if
in
you play if you don't
to
want to play mirror
save
image,
damage,
play
right?
as Leopardome for sure. But like the mirror image is just it's good enough that it's a spell for 1, so Mana Worm ticks up, and 2, it's really good at stopping just everything.
Mm.
if you play Mirror Image, you have to play Antonidas. 100%.
Yeah, this is like a week old version of the list, but like it does have 1 Antonidas instead of the Arcane Explosion in there now. That's like the only weak card in the deck. I had 1 Explosion in there when I was playing it that was like
And how do you like Arcane Intellect? I mean, the only way it's good is with Sorcerer's Apprentice, right? Because
pretty much that's the only time
drawing
you'll
2
ever
cards for
really
3
cast it.
mana is pretty shitty.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just like playing divination. Like it's 3 mana for 2 cards. It's the standard, right? But like when you can do
Sorcerer's Apprentice on turn 2, and then like next turn you'll have.
Well, it
Arcane
always
Intellect,
dies, right?
I mean, usually yes, it does always die,
dies. Yeah.
but like
I
there are
don't see.
turns where it is relevant. So
I think the enrage minions are too good in the mage to not play them, like the Amani Berserker, for example. I would always play Amani Berserker in this deck
Amani
over
is-
Sorcerer's Apprentice or Engineer.
Yeah, Amani, I love
Just
that
good of
in Mage
card.
6. I just, as a 2-drop, that card is so fucking good.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So I would maybe try to fit those in. I
Copy
like
that,
one
Alpha.
Blizzard. I like the 2 Cone of Coals. I like
Yep.
the Fireball. I don't like the Polys. I think they're like, you don't really need them because you can just stall the enemy anyway.
yeah, that's like I said.
I
It's
can
just
see them
another way.
working.
It's like, oh, the thing is, like, if you get to like those turns where you're like trying to buy one more turn to Pyroblast, you can poly the one threat and then and then Cone of Cold to kill everything. So you still do stuff, but I think the deck is plenty fast.
Mm.
It's just like my whole goal is just deal your 10 damage and then wait until you have your pyros. But I mean, I usually get them too, so I guess I'm just lucky.
Yeah.
What's your
Doesn't
win
look-
rate with the deck?
I think on ladder right now I'm like 22 and 3 or something like that. I haven't played it quite often, but
Not bad. You guys, I know that you guys hate Arcane Intellect. What's your thought on Thought Steal for Mage? I mean, not for Mage, for Priest.
Actually, I played against the priest today, and I was shaman, and he got like 2 hexes out of my deck.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
value.
and I was like, "Are you kidding me, man?"
That's
But I
pretty
still
awesome.
don't like the card. I still don't think the card is any good.
No.
Basically, if you
No,
play
it's worse
priest,
than Arcane Intellect.
yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
I like
It's
Arcane
sometimes
Intellect.
it's
Because those cards,
Yeah, that's exactly the point. It
Those
still
cards-
draws cards. Like you have
Yeah.
a lot of stuff in the deck that draws cards, so it's good.
Thought Steal, man. Like,
It's the exact same
So-
thing as Arcane
you
Intellect.
know,
except
every
using
now and then
your
I grab
cards.
like a Jiraxis and kill them, but
The
other times I
problem
get
with-
like a Novice Engineer and I'm like, oh, and like
No.
once I stole an upgrade from a warrior, I'm like, oh, this is pretty sick. Yeah, I'll get
You
my
can-
1/3 weapon.
You cannot look like at the card like Thought Steal with like oh, what can I get from his deck? No, you cannot look at the card like that. You just have to see it as draw 2 cards for 3. The thing
Yeah.
about if you compare it with Arcane Intellect, for example, Arcane Intellect will always be better because it will draw cards of your deck, and your deck is designed to
Do what you
draw
want.
you the stuff that you need.
yeah.
And if you draw stuff of your opponent's deck, it might not synergize with your deck at all. Deadly Poison. Whoop, whoop.
That's exactly what I was saying to LS. It's so annoying that like it doesn't help the mage deck or the priest deck do what the priest deck is trying to do. It's just completely random what it does for you. Kind of an annoying card. Can be fun though. Well, I think that's about it. Oh look, it looks like we just hit the hour, which is what we try to do for the show. So
Sure.
this has been a lot of fun. Let's go through and do some shout outs. I want to really thank you guys for coming on. I know it's really late for Ecop and Max here, but I think you're nighttime guys
problem.
anyways. So. But it has been a really wonderful show. 6-0, why don't you start us off? Some shout outs?
Awesome. Shoutouts to everybody over at Team Liquid, LOL sub forum. Everyone's still awesome for loving me. Shout out to my WoW guildies, the naturalorderguild.net. We need tanks. Please come help. And but yeah, other than that, just wait until after Thanksgiving. I'm streaming for the holidays, so
Sick. And Ecop, your shout outs.
Shout out to every Hearthstone player out there being worse than me. Thanks for letting me win, guys.
That's really sweet of you. Also follow him on Twitter. It's ecop1337. Max, your shout outs.
Shout out to my 2 favorite Asian persons in this world. First of all, Chenman for building that cancerous fucking Hunter OTK deck. I just want to burn this deck in fire. And of course to Trump for being the best arena player in the world. Thanks for teaching me so much. And yeah, I love you both.
Don't forget
Kisses and
Tofu.
hugs.
Well,
Oh yeah, and Tofu. Sorry, I love all the Asians.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that one, Max. I don't even know what to make of that. And all right, well, thank you guys much for watching. We're gonna have Max actually playing against Morrison in King of the Hill. If you missed the last one, the VODs are up. That's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be the same time and day next week as this week. Next week, I think we will have the show match, but we won't have turn 2 because I have to fly to BlizzCon. Doa's coming back right after that, so it'd be a little skip there. But thank you for watching, and thank you to these guys for coming on. It was a very fun show once again. And cheers to TT Sports by Power, my sponsors. So turn 2 will be back in, not next week, but the week after. So see you then.